we're diving into the part of this project that I am the most nervous about, and that is the Pauldrons, the foam armor. You want help? We have a guest. This is Jagger. You're gonna get me all the views, right? You would think, being a costumer and a costume designer, that I would be comfortable with fake armor, especially given that I went to school at a university that was like deeply interconnected with the Utah Shakespeare Festival, given that there are a lot of knights present in Shakespearean shows. I'm not. I've never done foam anything. And you would think that the idea of pattern pieces for costumes versus pattern pieces for like armor pieces, these should be comparable skill. And I see where you're coming from for that. But my brain go, this makes no sense to me. Which is why we are doing essentially a mock-up, because I don't know what I'm doing. I, like many of my fellow costumer, crafters, cosplayers, am sort of allergic to mock-ups. At this point, I did a couple of things off camera just because I didn't think they'd make terribly interesting content. Cut out my pattern pieces. Sir, you cannot chew on this. I spent an entire D&D session transferring my pattern pieces onto my foam. You can tell I've never worked with foam in this capacity. I definitely assumed that 4 of these sheets would be enough for 2 Pauldrons, and it's definitely not. I have the layout from the pattern to look at. I've watched a couple of tutorials. At this point, there's nothing to it but to do it. Let's go jump into it. We're ready. I'm currently using 6mm foam. The pattern itself calls for 10mm, and the roll of like actual good foam that I have is 8mm. I'm sure it's fine. It's just foam. The foam can't hurt you. The X-Acto can. This is why we do test runs, gang. It's because we don't know how things work and we make mistakes. So I don't know how much footage I just lost because my camera decided to turn itself off. We're down to 1 more sheet. We got 1 more sheet to go. Welcome to day 2 of Practice Pauldrons. We are outside on my porch because that is the only place where I have adequate ventilation. My neighbors could come through the door at any moment. Ventilation mask acquired, as well as shiny new safety goggles, which is good because my old ones look like this. I think they're like 15 years old. I've got all my foam pieces cut out, my heat gun, my contact cement, and a prayer.
You know, I'm not entirely sure why I brought my coffee outside with me.
This is a good angle, right? All of the pieces are heat sealed now. My heat gun is away from the thing that is extremely flammable. Get my mask back up, put my headphones back on. We're gonna get going.
One of the tricks I saw is because it wants to pull away, even though it's stuck, use duct tape to pull them together while it dries slowly. The thing I'm learning is that I need to be a little more careful and methodical as I'm putting them together, because once they are stuck, they are stuck. Very funny realizing how badly I did at cutting out some of these pieces. When my big I feel hard, when my big I feel hard. So, for our first attempt, I think could have been much worse.
It's very bright outside, so I'm sorry if I squint. My pauldrons are cured fully, and they don't look half bad, but there are edges that they just maybe look like they could use a little bit of help. I went out and bought the absolute cheapest rotary tool I could find. Clean up some seams, clean up these edges that are uneven, and we'll see how that goes.
This is entirely too many things to be having on my head at the same time.
It's a lot of futzing around and finding out. I'm feeling pretty good about pauldrons. I bought another pauldron pattern that was a little closer to what I was actually envisioning. This is sort of where we are on the practice pauldron. I think it looks pretty good. Ta-da! That's gonna be it for this video. I will see you next time when we start on clothes. We start on my dress. Yeah. Anyway, I'm Cassie, and more like than not, I love you, and I will see you in the next one. End transmission.
Let's see what the damage is.
Oh, God. I've got my water in my thematically relevant flamingo. Like I said, I still wear a mask in public. And so I thought this would be fine. My face hurts. We passed sniff special. It seems like we passed. Say safety first, kids, but like Jesus Christ. Ow. Time to go make dinner.